Applying special effects to graphics. This is also a homework assignment. So, when you bring pictures into a document here in Word 2016, you may leave the pictures as they are, or you may want to spice them up. In this lecture, we're going to make some adjustments to the images on our first page of the Land & Hotel Guide we've been working with. And if you've just simply skipped to this lecture, you may go to your exercise files and open up LH_Guide 0905 in your exercise folder. This way you have what I have. We have a double-decker bus, which is here. We have a tower. I'll scroll down a little bit for our next image. And what we have is a hot stone massage in San Francisco. Let's go to the double-decker bus. We'll give that a click. And when you do this, you'll notice that the Format tab under the Picture Tools appears. Give that a click to get access to a number of different options. As you see, as we hover over it, we have our picture selected. You'll see that now we have a simple white frame. We go to the next. We have a beveled matte white. Then we kind of have like a metal frame or a gray tone to it. In addition to that, we have a drop shadow rectangle. And then with that, we have a reflected, rounded rectangle. Then here we are with a soft edge rectangle. And then lastly is we have a black frame. I kind of like that. It really makes the image stand out. So, the easiest way to change the look of the image is to go to some of the picture styles. So, these are presets so that you can click the drop down for some and see quite a few different options if you want to. For example, if you want a nice dark border around it or maybe a white border. So you can also rotate it. Go ahead. Either you can rotate this way by dragging it, and I'll do the undo just to get it back. Or there's an option that you can select also for rotating, and that's here. And if you want to rotate right at a 90-degree angle, and then if you want to undo that, you can do that as well. Now, some of these effects up here, and these different picture styles, we can do these ourselves. So, what we can do, so if you have the picture format frame still open, we can click on Picture Border, and we can add a different border to our picture if we'd like. I kind of like the red. That puts a little red border around that. I'll have to deselect it for you to see that. And then I'll go ahead and select it. And I don't want a border, so I'm going to click No Color for that. In addition, you have picture effects, in which you have those that are presets that I talked about. And as you hover over those, notice your picture changing. We have shadows, of which you can select the various ones and notice your picture changing. We have reflections. We have soft edges, beveled edges, 3D, and so on. So, we can combine many of these if we want. But if you want even more options, you could click one of the shadow options and open up a format picture. I'll go to shadow. And I kind of like having you can do an outer shadow, an inner shadow, or a perspective shadow. I kind of like the perspective. Now we can bump over to use the slider. Our picture layout. These are various layouts of our picture if we want to change that. I kind of think that's kind of neat. So if we go back to our formatting and some of our effects, shadow, reflection, you can even do some of the options. And with the options, you can change your transparency. Let's say we want like about 3%. Notice how the picture is changing. We can slide that up or slide it down. The blurredness, we can select that. And also the distance. So those are some of the things. There's also a glow, soft effects, 3D format, rotation, and artistic effects. So those are some of the things that we can do with Format Picture. So I'm going to go ahead and close this pane. But I'm going to go ahead and close out. So if you think you want to be able to see the image clearly, as we're not going to apply any of these, we'll collapse that. We'll close the Format Picture pane by clicking the Close button, deselect by clicking the background, and you can see that it's a total different effect than when we started. So I think what we need to do is apply the same effect to the other two images on our page. That's your homework before moving on to the next lecture. Now that you have learned how to insert pictures, shapes, and graphics, please submit an assignment to the Dropbox, of which includes a photo, chart, diagram, and a shape image. Refer to page 158 of your text.